This is the 2026 Buick Envista Preferred. Is it the most underrated compact crossover? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. We borrowed this Envista from our friends at Mike Morgan Buick GMC in Shreveport, Louisiana. If you want to know more, check out the link down in the description of the video. When you look at the Envista, it may surprise you that it is a Buick. Very nice look. It has a modern look, has a little bit of a classy look to it. In fact, with that sloped rear back there, it almost looks like a Mercedes-Benz or a BMW, at least to a small degree, not in a huge way, but you do know that it's a Buick because you have the Tri-Shield logo right here on the front end, prominently displayed. And then we're gonna have our winged LED daytime running lights along with the LED turn signal indicators. You'll also find our LED headlights right here. Now they are projector beam, but you know what? They are here, so that's a good thing. As we work our way across, we're gonna find some chrome right here, not only around the grille, but also in this area. As we work our way across, I do like that we have more of a matte finish down low. That's always a good place to have that. This model will come with 17-inch wheels. One thing I do wish Buick would offer on the Envista that they don't is all-wheel drive. Front-wheel drive is standard, and that's your only option. We'll find your turn signal indicators built in to the heated and power adjustable side view mirrors. Now they are manually folding. Somebody once asked me to show how to do this in a video, believe it or not. How do you fold those manually folding side view mirrors? Keep something in mind. Those very people that ask questions like that are driving with you on the road. And here is your remote. You have lock, unlock, remote start, and you can open and close your power tailgate. Believe it or not, there is a power tailgate on this trim level. And as we work our way back, we're gonna have a 13.2 gallon gas tank. It does have capless fuel fill. Driving distance on a single tank of gas in the city is about 370 miles, and you're looking at about 420 miles out on the highway. Now that's estimated. You might do better than that depending on your situation. You might not achieve those numbers. Hard to say for sure. Again, we're gonna have that winged look with our LED taillights back here. We're gonna have the Envista logo prominently displayed, Buick and the Tri-Shield logo. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, let's open the power tailgate right here. There is, well, a little bit of cargo space here, not a ton. One thing I do wish was here that is not is LED interior lighting as far as your cargo area goes, but your cargo specs come in between 20.7 and 42 cubic feet. Now, let me show you something. Since I have the advantage of having someone on camera here, you can remove this cargo cover. All you have to do is take that area off right there, take that off, and then you basically just kind of knock it out of place, and you can take it right out and you're good to go as far as that goes. And putting it back in is pretty easy too. We're just going to go back in with it just like this, and we're going to put that down in place like that. Then we lift it up. We're going to reattach right here. Just so you know, I'd like to show this, but it's kind of hard to do that when I'm filming alone. But there we go. That is all now back in place. And one more thing that I know will make a lot of people happy is the presence of a spare tire. That's always good to know as opposed to a tire repair kit. Under the hood is a 1.2 liter 3-cylinder engine. It is a turbocharged engine, and it makes 137 horsepower and 162 pounds-feet of torque. One thing that might surprise a lot of people, you might expect that to be mated to a CVT. It's actually mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission. Now, being that that motor is so small, what are we looking at with our MPGs? We'll see if we can show that to you here. So we're looking at 28 city, 32 highway, 30 combined, and 3.3 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. Tell me what you think about those numbers. One thing I did forget to mention when we were talking about our cargo space is that you can fold these seats pretty much completely flat. There's a small amount of angle to them, but overall they're flat. That's how you maximize your cargo space. So we're going to stick these back up and back in place. The door panel consists of a nice size armrest. For being such a small SUV, the door bin offers a reasonable amount of space. And as I hop into the interior, we're going to have one seat pocket on the rear seats here, instead of on the driver's side, only on the passenger side. You do have some USB connectivity here, a couple of different options where that's concerned. No air conditioning vents, but in an interior of this size, that's not going to be a big deal. Now, you can't adjust the recline built into these seats. However, there is at least a little bit of recline built in. The sticker price is $27,350. Not too bad in this day and age. I know that's still pretty high for a vehicle like this, but considering the fact that so many other vehicles are way north of $50,000, that's not too bad here. Let's take a look at what we have. Now, on the preferred trim level here, we have manually adjustable seats for the passenger and the driver. So a little bit of a minimalist situation where that is concerned. We're going to have the nice, again, large armrests, larger than what we had with the rear doors here with the front doors, and the larger door bin down there. We'll also have a little bit of extra storage space within the glove box right there. And you'll notice with some of the design elements here, such as with the air conditioning vents and across the dash area, it matches a little bit of what we see with the exterior out there. Now, I'm going to grab the camera for just a minute here. First of all, our upper console. Now, you might have noticed I haven't said anything about a sunroof because, well, there isn't one. So that's why I haven't said anything, but you can see everything that you have here as far as OnStar and all that good stuff. You can turn your lights on if you need to. Again, not LED, but at this price point, maybe that shouldn't be a big surprise. On the driver's side door panel, we're going to have everything for locking the windows, controlling the positioning of our power side view mirrors, opening and closing the windows, and our power door lock control. Right here, we're going to have everything for controlling the headlights and tail lights. You can just leave that on auto and you don't have to worry about it. There's the release for the steering wheel to adjust the tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. We also have our steering wheel mounted controls, everything with voice commands here. All of that good stuff is going to be here. And depending on what you need to see, you can go through quite a few different things here and go through information. If you want to change what you're listening to, you can do that. We also have everything over here for our cruise control. And then we'll have our turn signal indicator lever right here. And you can also go over here to the right-hand side and control your windshield wipers. Now, one thing I do wish that Buick would do differently is have a rear window wiper back there. They say that when the vehicle is in motion, that alleviates the need for a rear window wiper, but it's when it's been sitting for a while, well, it's nice to have that wiper to run back and forth. Tell me what your thoughts are on that. And a nice modern look with our driver's display. This is called the virtual cockpit with the entirety of the screen right here. We'll find a control right there, the button for your stereo, not steering wheel. Let's get that correct now. Turning that on and off and adjusting the volume. And again, a little bit of a minimalist approach here as far as your center screen goes. Not a lot going on. You can wirelessly pair your smartphone. You have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. You can go into climate right here. And by the way, it's not just on the screen. Thankfully, there are physical controls. You do have single zone climate control. You can adjust your fan speed. You can go with AC auto, you can turn that off. Whatever you want to do, you can do all of that right here. We can come back out of that screen. We can go into settings and going to go over a couple of different things here just to show you what's here. I'm not going to cover this in great detail, but we'll go to vehicle and then we're going to go to collision and detection systems. What all do we have as far as that goes for $27,305? Automatic emergency braking, front pedestrian braking, park assist, and your rear camera park assist symbols. So again, not a lot going on where that's concerned. Speaking of the rear camera, let's go into reverse, and there's what you're going to have. So you got that. You can turn your trajectory lines on and off depending on what you want to do. At least there is a camera here for those that want that. That's going to be on every vehicle. It's supposed to be in the United States, at least as of 2020. So you will not see that being an issue at all. Now, here are some things that I know are going to be very helpful to a lot of people. We've got gauges right here. So depending on what you want to see, you've got maintenance, we can go to gauges, and we can go to battery voltage. And if we click into that, guess what you can do? You can show that on the driver's display. So if you want to, all you have to do is select right there. Then that shows up on the driver's display. Or if you want to remove it, you can do that too, just to show you how a few of these things work. And then we're also going to have coolant temperature. And that's one thing that should just be on the driver's display automatically. It's not, but you know what? You can put it on there if you want to. And then you're going to see that we have our coolant temperature right there. If we go in, you can add that to your cluster. So a very nice setup. Nice to know that you can customize things depending on what you need to do or what you want to do. And here's something as far as traction control goes, if you need to turn that on or off. I don't know with 137 horsepower if traction control even factors in, unless you're trying to do a front wheel drive burnout and impress people in your Envista maybe. I don't know. You'll have to tell me if you've tried that yet. Everything here for phone and managing phones, and then we can go up here and I don't want to have anything come on there, but we can go in and again select what we're listening to. There's a few different ways to do that. You can go into your settings right here and you can change your sound. And I know that's something a lot of you like to do to get the best sound quality possible based on what you want. This is the screen you're going to come to take care of that. And then you can manage your favorites and you can see what else we have here. We're not going to cover everything, like I say, just to keep the video from being too long. Now, as we move down, we've got our air conditioning vents right here. There is your hazard light button. You can see that flashes right there to let you know that everything is on. And then we have single zone climate control in this particular case. You can adjust your temperature, your fan speed. You can do everything you're used to doing. Rear window, front window, defoggers, all of that is going to be here. And we do have a wireless charging pad here. That might be a little bit of a surprise for the price point. And a couple of USB ports down here in addition to a 12-volt power outlet. So a few different options where that is concerned. Your shifter, a conventional style shifter. I like that. It looks nice. Cup holders. There's your power parking brake. If that's something you're wondering about, it's in a place where you would expect it to be. And I don't know how well we can see it right here. Lane keeping assist is right there. You can turn the auto stop start feature on or off right there if you want to with that button. Kind of hard to see if you don't know it's there. It's hidden by the shifter until you go into drive. Then you can see everything nice and easily. And if you're wondering what the L is right here behind the D, that is for low. In a low traction situation, it will give you all of your horsepower and torque, but stay in first gear. A little bit of storage in front of the center console. In fact, that will be easier to show if I open the center console. This area right here. And the center console, being a compact crossover, well, it's not enormous, but you know what? It's likely deeper than you expect. Okay, here we go with a little bit of noise from the rear area back there. I apologize for that, but driving the Envista, now you might be surprised. It will get up and go for what it is. 0 to 60 is about 9 seconds. Not the best, but it will get the job done. Top speed, 121 miles per hour. But it has a nice, comfortable ride quality, and depending on the trim level you go with, obviously you're going to have a lot more features and functionality than what we have here, but it just depends on how much money you want to spend. The steering is actually somewhat tight, a lot more than you might expect. It is nice and responsive. That's one thing I really like about how things have changed over the years as far as front-wheel drive vehicles go. They feel a lot more stable than they used to. It used to be that with front-wheel drive, if you had that, you really knew that you did, just the way the vehicle handled. Newer vehicles these days don't tend to have that driving experience that we used to see back then. And I feel like I have plenty of room here. If you are over 6 feet tall, you can adjust the driver's seat and the steering wheel where you can be very comfortable without any trouble whatsoever. And obviously, being a smaller SUV, I don't need to tell you that we have a nice tight turning radius, and we're going to just make our turn real quick here, no problem at all. Get on down the road a little bit. No, not quite at half throttle to do that. Speed limit's only 45 miles per hour in here, but it is fun to drive. Believe it or not, it does have a little bit of a sporty feel to it. The brake and the gas pedal, I like that they're easy to adjust to, easy to manage. And the back window, it might seem that would be difficult to see out of, but for me and where I've got my seat positioned and the rear view mirror, it's actually not a problem. It's a fairly large window, it's just that angle makes a difference back there. But overall, I'd say this is a great little compact SUV crossover. Technology is easy to learn and use. It's like I said earlier in the video, I'd call it fairly minimalistic. You don't have sub-menus and a lot of things you have to go into. There's some nice technology here, but it's not an overload. So for those that are looking for something that's going to have some good gas mileage, the price point is good for this day and age, and you won't have to put a lot of gas in it. That'll save you a little bit of money. It definitely gets the job done. And there it is, the 2026 Buick Envista Preferred. Is it the most underrated compact crossover? You'll have to tell me what you think down in the comment section. While you may not have a lot of power under the hood, it still gets the job done. It looks nice. It has a lot of great features. It doesn't have an enormous price point. Quite a few things going on here that definitely give it an advantage. But I want to hear what you think about this Envista. I'd like to say a special thanks to my friends at Mike Morgan Buick GMC for loaning us this Envista for the day so we could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give us the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. That's very helpful. Please be sure to subscribe and share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out one of the videos that's right over here, and I'll see you there.